Snow makes everything quiet. Too quiet. That night, the road disappeared under white ice. The trees stood like dark shadows, and my phone had no signal. I was completely alone, or at least that's what I thought, because someone was walking behind my car, and no matter how fast I drove, he never fell behind. This is not a story I like to remember, but once you hear it, you'll understand why snowy nights still terrify me. This happened in January, a few years ago. I was driving back from my uncle's cabin deep in the mountains. The plan was simple: stay one night, leave early the next morning. But heavy snow changed everything. By evening, the storm got worse, and my uncle warned me. "Leave before dark," he said. "These roads are dangerous at night." I should have listened. By the time I left, thick snow was already falling. My car moved slowly, tires crunching against ice. The road was narrow, with tall pine trees on both sides. No houses, no lights, just endless white and black. The heater was on full, but my hands were still cold. About 30 minutes into the drive, I noticed something strange. Fresh footprints. They were on the road. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe a hiker, maybe someone from another cabin. But the footprints were strange. They were right in the middle of the road, and they were barefoot. I slowed down, my heart beating faster. Who walks barefoot in deep snow at night? I told myself not to panic. That's when my headlights caught movement. Someone was walking ahead of my car. He was tall, thin, wearing dark clothes. He didn't turn around. I slowed almost to a stop, expecting him to move aside, but he didn't. He just kept walking, slowly, straight down the road. I rolled down my window a little and shouted, "Hey, are you okay?" No response. The snowstorm swallowed my voice. I honked the horn. He stopped. Slowly, he turned his head. I couldn't see his face clearly. The snow and darkness hid most of it, but I saw enough to know something was wrong. His mouth was open, too open, like he was smiling, but not really. I felt a deep chill crawl up my spine. I put the car in reverse and backed up a little. That's when he started walking toward me. Before I continue, let me say this. If you've ever driven alone on a snowy road at night, you already know how scary silence can be. So if you enjoy real horror stories that feel like they could happen to anyone, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because stories like this only get darker. I slammed the car into drive and pressed the gas. The car moved slowly, too slowly. Snow covered everything. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. I checked my rearview mirror. He was still there, walking. Not running, not struggling, just walking, calmly, behind my car. I sped up as much as the road allowed. The distance between us grew. I let out a shaky breath. Then my car slid. For a second, I lost control. The tires screamed against ice, and the car spun slightly before I managed to stop it. My headlights swung back toward the road behind me. He was closer now, much closer. How did he close the distance that fast? Panic took over. I drove again, heart pounding so loud I could hear it over the storm. I kept driving. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I started to calm. I checked the mirror. My blood ran cold. He was still there. Same distance, same slow walk, never getting tired. That's when I noticed something terrifying. His feet never sank into the snow. No footprints behind him. I whispered to myself, "This isn't real. This can't be real." My phone buzzed suddenly, making me jump. No signal, no notifications, just a buzzing sound, like interference. The radio turned on by itself. Static filled the car. Then a voice came through, low, broken, whispering. Don't stop. I slammed the radio off. Tears filled my eyes. I had never felt fear like this before. Not fear of dying, but fear of being taken. Then the worst thing happened. The engine coughed once, twice, and died. The car stopped completely. I tried to restart it. Nothing. The headlights stayed on, and in their glow, I saw him, standing behind my car, very close now. He tilted his head slowly, like he was curious. Then he lifted his hand and knocked on my trunk. 1 knock, 2 knocks, 3. I screamed and locked the doors, even though they already were. The knocking moved closer. Side of the car, window, tap, tap, tap. I squeezed my eyes shut and begged, please go away. The tapping stopped. Silence returned. I opened my eyes, and he was gone. The engine suddenly roared back to life. I didn't think. I just drove. I didn't look back again. I drove until I saw lights, real lights from a gas station at the edge of the mountain. I pulled in, shaking, crying, barely able to speak. The worker asked me what was wrong. I told him everything. He listened quietly. Then his face changed. You saw him, didn't you? He asked. I nodded. He swallowed hard. You're not the first. He told me that during heavy snowstorms, people reported seeing a man walking barefoot on the mountain road. Anyone who stopped never made it back. If this story sent chills down your spine, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next Snowy Night story is even more disturbing. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Take a deep breath, because story 2 takes place in a frozen village where something knocks on doors during snowstorms. In winter, snow hides everything. Footsteps, blood, bodies. And in my village, there was one rule everyone followed when it snowed heavily. If someone knocks after midnight, you do not open the door. I didn't believe that rule until the night I heard the knocking myself. I grew up in a small mountain village where winters were long and brutal. Snowstorms were common, sometimes lasting for days. Roads disappeared, phone lines went dead, and the world outside turned completely white. During heavy snow, everyone stayed indoors. We locked our doors, closed our windows, and waited for morning. People said it was because of wolves, but that was a lie. The real reason was much worse. This happened when I was 19 years old. My parents had gone to the city for medical work, leaving me alone at home for 3 nights. I was excited at first. Freedom, quiet, no rules. By the second night, a massive snowstorm hit. The wind howled like something alive. Snow hit the window so hard it sounded like fingers scratching the glass. Electricity went out just before midnight. I lit candles and wrapped myself in blankets. That's when I remembered what my grandmother used to say. When snow covers the doors and sound dies, never answer a knock after midnight. I laughed it off back then. I wish I hadn't. At exactly 12:17 a.m., I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Slow, calm, polite. I froze. My heart began to race. Who would come out in a storm like this? I stood up slowly and walked toward the front door. Through the small window, I could see nothing but darkness and snow. I called out, "Who is it?" No answer. Then another knock. Knock, knock. My mind searched for logic. Maybe a neighbor needed help. Maybe someone was lost. I unlocked the inner latch, but stopped before opening the door. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. I remembered my grandmother's voice clearly in my head. They knock like humans, but they wait like predators. If you're listening to this alone at night, make sure your door is locked. And if you enjoy true-style horror stories that feel real and unsettling, like the video and subscribe, because the next knock might not be in this story. Suddenly, a voice spoke from outside. "Please, open the door." It sounded like a man, weak, tired. "I'm freezing." My hand hovered over the handle. Then the voice spoke again. "I know you're inside." My stomach dropped. "How do you know?" I asked, my voice shaking. There was a long pause. Then the man said something that made my blood turn cold. "Because your candle is shaking." I slowly looked down. The candle flame beside me was flickering wildly, even though there was no wind inside the house. I stepped away from the door. "I can't help you. I'm sorry." The voice changed instantly. It became deeper, colder. "You were supposed to open it." Bang! The door shook violently. Bang! Bang! I screamed and ran back, pushing furniture against the door. The knocking turned into pounding. The windows rattled. Then everything stopped. Silence. Complete silence. I waited for minutes, maybe longer. Then I heard something that made my heart nearly stop. Footsteps inside the house. Slow steps above me on the roof. I hid under the stairs, covering my mouth to stop myself from crying. Something dragged itself across the roof. Scratch, scrape, scratch. Then it moved down the wall. I heard nails scraping against wood, slowly descending. Then the back door handle began to turn, locked. Thank God. The voice returned, right behind the door. "Let me in." But this time it sounded like my mother, perfectly. "Open the door," it said gently. "I'm home." I bit my arm to stop myself from screaming. My parents were miles away. Whatever was outside was not human. The knocking started again, this time at every door, front door, back door, windows, all at once. Different voices, crying, begging, laughing. Then, suddenly, nothing. The storm outside faded. The silence returned. Slowly, painfully, morning came. I didn't move until sunlight filled the house. When I finally opened the front door, my blood ran cold. Footprints covered the snow. Bare feet. Hundreds of them, all facing the door, none leading away. When my parents returned, I told them everything. They didn't laugh. My father's face turned pale. He said, "You heard the knockers." He told me that long ago, people who died in snowstorms were said to come back during heavy winters. They knocked on doors. If you let them in, they took someone with them when the snow melted. That night, 3 houses in our village were found empty, doors open, no footprints leading out, just snow. If this story disturbed you, comment "Don't open" below, and make sure you're subscribed because the final story is the most terrifying one yet. It takes place on a frozen highway where stopping your car might be the last thing you ever do. The snow gets thicker, the night gets longer, and story 3 begins now. When you're driving on a frozen highway at night, your worst fear is crashing. Mine wasn't. My worst fear was stopping, because once you stop on that road, something always comes to check on you. And if you open the door, you don't leave alone. This happened during a record-breaking winter. I was working night shifts in another city, and the only way home was a long, empty highway that cut through frozen land and forests. No towns, no houses, just snow, ice, and darkness. That night, weather warnings were everywhere. Do not travel unless necessary. I ignored them. I regret that choice every winter. Snow fell heavily, turning the world white. My headlights felt weak, barely cutting through the storm. The road was empty, no cars ahead, none behind. No phone signal, no radio, just the sound of tires on ice. After about an hour, I noticed something strange. A car parked on the side of the road, hazard lights blinking. I slowed down. Someone might need help. As I passed, I saw a man standing beside the car. He waved slowly. I rolled my window down just a little. "Are you okay?" I asked. He nodded. "My car died," he said. "Can you give me a ride to the next exit?" Something felt off. His clothes were thin, no jacket, no gloves. In this cold, he should have been freezing, but he wasn't shaking. "I'm sorry," I said. "I can call for help once I get signal." His smile faded. "You won't get signal," he said calmly. That was enough for me. I rolled the window up and drove away. In my mirror, I saw him watching me. Not angry, just waiting. Quick reminder, never stop on empty highways at night, especially in snow. And if you enjoy true feeling horror stories that slowly get under your skin, like the video and subscribe, because stories like this are closer to real life than you think. 10 minutes later, my car began to feel strange, heavy, sluggish. The speed dropped even though my foot stayed on the gas. Then the warning lights came on, one by one. The engine died. The car rolled to a stop right in the middle of the highway. Snow fell harder. The silence was unbearable. Then I saw headlights behind me. Relief washed over me. Another car was coming. It slowed, then stopped behind me. A man stepped out. Same height, same thin body, same face. It was him. He walked to my driver's side window. Knock, knock. "You stopped," he said softly. "I didn't have a choice," I replied, shaking. He leaned closer. "You always have a choice." I locked the doors. His smile widened. "I just need to sit inside," he said. "It's very cold." Snow gathered around his feet, but his breath didn't fog. My heart pounded. "I can't," I said. "Please step back." His face suddenly went blank. "You already invited me," he whispered. That's when I noticed something horrifying. There were footprints in the snow. Not his, mine, leading away from my car, toward the forest, as if I had already left once. I shook my head violently. No, I didn't." He tapped the window. "You did," he said. "You just don't remember yet." Suddenly, the back door handle moved. Locked. Then the other side. Locked. I looked into the side mirror. People were standing on the road now. Men, women, children, all frozen, all staring, all waiting. The man outside smiled proudly. "These are the ones who stopped," he said. "They all helped." He leaned down until his face was inches from the glass. "If you open the door," he said, "I'll let you forget. If you don't," he looked toward the forest, "you'll walk again." I screamed and shut my eyes. I don't know how long I sat there. Seconds, minutes, hours. When I opened my eyes, the road was empty. The snow had stopped. My engine started on the first try. I drove straight home. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. The next morning, the news reported multiple abandoned cars found on the highway. Doors open. No people. Just footprints leading into the forest. Barefoot. If you made it through all 3 stories, you're stronger than most. Comment "snow" if this video gave you chills, and subscribe for more true-style horror stories that feel too real to ignore, because the next story might feel familiar.